Welcome to Patient Zero. I'm your host, Branch Isole. Patient Zero shares a focus on personal, career, and spiritual relationship growth and sustainability. The term Patient Zero generally describes a point of origin for any experience, event, or entity. From the moment of our creation as a spirit of origination, each of us becomes the patient zero of our lifetime journey. On Patient Zero, you'll hear tips and takeaways for healthier daily interactions to achieve greater success at home and work. You'll also learn how prophecy can educate, entertain, and edify, with an awareness about prophetic events, people, and circumstances, to help you know and prepare for God's purpose-filled plans. Many people eventually examine or test different spiritual paths that lay before them that may have been avoided or delayed in the past. Often, by the indecision about which path is the best match for their anticipated desires or expectations. And many know little or nothing about the tenets and practices of most particular religions or spiritual paths. You see, the primary goal of spiritual growth is to help the person understand the concept and value of worthiness, which is an essential key for respect, appreciation, and love within our lifetime. If one fails to respect or appreciate self, this failure is easily transferred to others, often to a point where this attitude becomes indicative of one's thoughts and life activities. If you find yourself in situations where you're struggling or battling with others, it's time to stop. Most instances of relationship disillusionment or frustration are not between you and the other person. They're between the humanist you and the spiritual you. For you innately know and understand truth. This is within your soul as a spirit of origination. Innately understanding truth is something that we all possess and all can do. Remember, balance in the universe, balance in your life, balance in your self-image has the power to reduce or eliminate daily stress, struggle, pressure, and conflict. It's this power that's achieved and available when balance is created between the physical you and the spiritual you. Because spirituality reaches beyond and outside of self. It's the ultimate foundation within successful relationships. You see, first in our relationship with God as Creator, and then with others in our families, communities, and societies. So what's in this balance for you? What's your benefit? What's your reward for navigating a spiritual roadmap with your daily choices and decisions? This spiritual path gives you the strength to accomplish a more peaceful, harmonious state of balance, both in your relationships at home and at work. However, to get to this place, we must know, we must understand, and we must embrace the use of power for forgiveness. Why? By not forgiving, we corral our emotions and psyche, allowing them to be held hostage by frustration, anger, revenge, and hate. You see, time and energy given over to these keeps growth stagnant or stymied, as it feeds our inability to forgive. And this keeps us stuck in a place of negative energy, which drains our life force and ultimately gives the person or people we're unable to forgive power over us. Even if they fail to realize it or have moved on in their own life and are no longer a part of ours, Forgiveness becomes a key for us to understand and use. Now, am I saying forgive and forget? No. We may never forget when we've been hurt or damaged emotionally, psychologically, physically, or mentally. And we may never forget the transgression. We may carry it with us throughout life like an old emotional suitcase. But you see, preoccupation with our past experiences hurts and damages us more than them. Because the power of forgiveness strengthens us by allowing us to finally move on. Forgiveness, even if it's silent, allows us to see and identify the true character of our transgressor, and thereby let go of the pain once and for all by letting go of our emotional connection to them. A third factor in the power of forgiveness is knowledge that our transgressor is just who they are or were. This allows us to realize at some point in their future, karma, retribution, or atonement will be required of them. That's the nature of the universe. So if you're dealing with a parental or family member who's a transgressor in your life, there may be solace in the realization that they are or were simply a culmination of their experiences and upbringing. And you don't have the power to change them or their past. You see, many who grow up carrying remembrance of issues simply reenact what they grew up with as part of what they now know and use themselves. Because they were never able to let go of the trauma, the drama, or the pain suffered at the hands of another in their past. They went on to employ and pass on in ways that propagate or exacerbate their own life and damage. Now, I know this may be difficult to understand, difficult to face, and even more difficult to deal with. But we all have the power to forgive if we are willing to re-examine. You see, the physical may be gone, but the emotional may remain. And the mental can be handled. By realizing there's little or nothing we can do to remedy the past, forgiveness may be in our best interest for today and for our future. The kind of life you want going forward is up to you. The choice is yours. We can either relegate ourselves to damaged persons by remaining embraced and locked into the world's ways, or we can now allow a spiritual relationship to grow, led by Christ's examples of moral and ethical responses. So if you want to reduce or eliminate struggle in your life, if you want to live a grounded life guided by your spirit, it's not the things of this world, past or present, but by growing and strengthening your control over negative thoughts. So know this: every person who walks a spiritually guided path has fallen off, turned away, and been discouraged. Why? Well, we are each still part of the world, and we're each participants in humanity and the ways of the world in our daily life. And for most people, their focus is and remains on self. And self is the design of our world. In the same way that Satan's focus as an archangel in God's hierarchy was on self, so it is for we who reject the power of the Spirit. And Satan's fall from grace was the result of his desire to be God's equal, to be as God. In a similar manner, because of the world's ways and our integration into those ways, our stress, struggle, pressure, and conflicts are fed and fueled by the focus of the little god of self within each of us. You see, Satan was willing to be cast out of God's presence to become a force in this world. Likewise, Most of our inner conflicts are between the spirit of origination, who is us, and the little god of self, who is us. Original sin had nothing to do with sex. It was about pride. Pride in and of self. And that was true for Satan, and it's also true for each of us. If and when we choose to abandon God's spiritual presence in our life, we embrace the little god of self, which by design keeps us from having a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. That's our choice. Each and every day, continue on a path of the world's ways or turn away from those ways and start a path emulating God through Christ's moral and ethical examples. Thanks for joining me today. On Patient Zero, we share key takeaways for growth-filled living. If you know someone who could benefit from today's episode, please share it with them. If today's show has been interesting for you, please give us a rating and review. And to know more about my work, I invite you to visit my website, branchisole.com, my Substack page, branchisole.substack.com, and my YouTube channel, Branch Isole. Substack subscribers also receive a thought for today every morning, 2 spiritual Christianity prophecy alerts every week, and an open mic poem short story every Saturday, as well as access to archived Patient Zero episodes, informative series, and articles. Today's episode has been brought to you by Mana'o Publishing and my book, In the Margins. If you're interested in knowing more about spiritual growth, In the Margins is the ebook for you. It's available at our website and from Amazon. At the website, you'll also find other books, ebooks, and gift merchandise. Thanks for being with me today. Join me again next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at branchisole.substack.com for our episode titled Free Will. Until then, keep growing and be in the world, not of the world.